Okay, today what we're going to talk about is trophic levels, or the energy pyramid, as it's also called. What this is shows you the flow of energy that happens through an entire ecosystem, starting with sunlight producing light energy. When the sun produces light energy, plants, or the primary producers, take that light energy and through the process of photosynthesis, they make oxygen and food. Those primary producers then provide the food for the next level in the trophic pyramid, or the energy pyramid. The first level after primary producers is primary consumers. Primary consumers are herbivores, or also known as plant eaters. They eat plants, they eat nuts, they eat seeds, and they, in the process of eating, metabolize it or use it up, digest it, and their body then gives off heat. And that heat is a loss of energy. When we look at the law of conservation of energy, remember all the universe has a certain amount of energy and it's neither created or destroyed, it just changes shape. So it goes from chemical energy in food, the animals eat it, gives off heat, and that heat is another form of energy. But with that also the kilocalories of stored energy is lost. So if you look at the bottom of this diagram, you can see that originally the producers had 20,000 kilocalories of energy. When the primary consumers eat the producers, only 10% of that 20,000 is passed on to their level. So at their level, they have 2,000 kilocalories of energy. The secondary consumers eat the primary consumers. They are considered carnivores, insectivores. They eat other animals, not just like meat of other animals, but they'll eat insects, they'll eat worms, anything that's in the animal kingdom when you talk about the grouping of plants, animals, etc. When they eat them, only 10% of the 2,000 kilocalories that the primary consumers have is passed on to them. So the secondary consumers only get 200 kilocalories. So basically, the plant is eaten by the bug or the insect. Energy is lost in heat. Then the frog eats the insect. Energy is lost as heat. Then when the tertiary consumer eats the secondary consumer, for example, the snake eats the frog only has 200 kilocalories to give, 10% is lost as heat, so the tertiary consumer only gets 20 kilocalories of energy. Then when the hawk or the eagle, who is the quaternary consumer, the fourth on the chain, eats the snake, again, the snake only had 20 to give, so now the hawk is only going to get 2 kilocalories of energy. It will also lose some as heat. So you can see as it goes up, it's the rule of 10%. Only 10% is passed at each level. Decomposers work at every level because anything that dies in the entire energy pyramid, decomposers then break down and get energy from. So their percent of energy depends on what level they're getting their, if you want to say, food from. So that is basically the energy pyramid. That's how energy is passed on. It works kind of like a food chain, and at each point of that chain and or level in the pyramid, energy is lost as heat, and only 10% of the energy is passed from level to level to level. If you have any questions about this, you need to email me through Canvas if you have me. If you have Mr. Justek, you need to email him, and we will get a hold of you to try to explain this a little better. Those are the basic facts about the trophic levels in the energy pyramid. The only other terms that we may not have gone over would be like autotrophs. Autotrophs are the same thing as producers. They just make their own food. And heterotrophs are anything that eats a producer. So anything other than a plant would be a heterotroph because it cannot make its own energy. Herbivores are things that eat plants. Carnivores are things that eat animals. And omnivores are things that eat both plants and animals. So I hope you're having a good day, and we will talk with you tomorrow. If you have any questions, please get a hold of us.